Greetings, humanoid. Welcome to On the Comic Edge, number 15. I am your host, Edge. I can't believe my voice is actually coming through when this thing's in my eye. It's so cool. Anyway, uh, it's an Air Force PX-21, by the way, if anyone cares. Welcome to On the Comic Edge, number 15. I'm your host, Edge, and good week for comics. Nothing from DC. Sorry, you DC people, all 5 of you. Actually, before we get started, I'm going to give you my few cents, maybe 1 cent, 1 point, something, whatever the exchange rate is now. The whole DC revamp thing, the reboot, coming in after Flashpoint. First off, I'm not liking Flashpoint. I don't know what they're planning on doing. There's been some talk. There's been some I think one picture where everybody looks really young, and Aquaman looks really buff, and Superman's jaw is just gone. That strong jaw is just gone. It could bring a lot of more people in, or it could completely destroy your fan base. Honestly, I mean, personally, I'm most worried about where this is going to affect Green Lantern. Because if they're getting rid of everything that's happened up to this point, all the other Lantern Corps, Blackest Night, well, I don't care if Brightest Day goes away, War of the Green Lanterns, if all of that's going away, I don't like that at all. I was really liking Green Lantern. I was loving what they were doing with the multiple Lantern Corps, and I don't know. I'm reserving judgment. It could get more people in, but the reasons that I don't read DC titles has nothing to do with convoluted storylines at this point. Believe it or not. And I know that's a lot of other people's reasoning. But my reasoning is I don't care about the characters. It became very apparent in Brightest Day. I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about Superman. I don't care about Wonder Woman. I don't care about Aquaman. I don't care about Martian Manhunter. Oh my God, don't I care about Martian Manhunter. Yeah, whatever. We'll see, but okay, moving on. Comics. Actual comics. S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1. Well, it's number 1, volume 2, actually. I don't know why they went to volume 1, because I was a little confused looking at it. I'm just like, what? Is this the right same so I'm trying to remember what the original one looked like. I'm like, no, this is new. So it's Jonathan Hickman, Dustin Weaver, and Sonia Abak. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it basically continues where the story left off. That incredibly complicated story that I'm barely holding on to. It's like it's a fighter jet, and I'm just holding on to the tail. I'm just I want to understand. I really do. I want to understand. And it's called The Beginning of the End. So I have a feeling that Hickman has a whole story arc built already, and we're just walking on through it. Art's fantastic. Writing is fantastic. No complaints. But you know what I was kind of hoping for? And forgive me if this had already come out in the trade paperback, which is out for the first volume. But I want an explanation. There are bits of it here. I mean, in the back, you have some awesome art and these cool scroll-looking thingies. And the art was done by Kevin Mellon. Fantastic stuff. But it's giving me pieces of a story that I get those individual pieces. What I don't understand is all the other things that are supposed to be the glue to keep it all together. What exactly is the story being told here? It's an extremely complicated story. And again, I'm going to ask people, if you know what's going on right now, please tell me, because I really want to know. And it's just going to take like a little bit to, to help me out here, please. I know I'm going to enjoy this 100 times more once I understand everything. What really is interesting me most, and it's one of the little things, is how do Nathaniel Richards and Howard Stark manage to put things together, and a few other characters actually, manage to put mechanical things together just by thinking it? What's the mechanic there? I really want to know, because it's sort of like Lego to the nth degree, and I think there's a video game in that. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, this could be a pretty cool video game. It really could. Moving on. X-Force 11, the Dark Angel Saga, number 1, chapter 1. Remender, Brooks, Curry, and White. I love Rick Remender. I love what he's doing with X-Force. And we get to the point where we realize that Archangel's losing his battle. Warren is losing his battle against Archangel. And we find this, we learn the reason behind that is because he's becoming Apocalypse's heir. So Apocalypse is going to be reincarnated within the Angel of Death, which is, which makes sense, I guess. And they're trying to save him. And they spring the Dark Beast. Remember Age of Apocalypse? Hank McCoy? The bad guy. They spring him from jail and they say, okay, figure out what's wrong. And he says, well, here's your problem. He has a death seed in him. Oh, well, that sounds like a bad thing. So what do? Well, you need to counter it with a life seed. Okay, what's a life seed? Well, a life seed is a thing that a celestial puts on a planet to spur life, and it literally looks like a seed, a glowy techno seed. It's like that big. And they say, oh, well, okay, where do we find one of those? Not here, but there was one I had in the dimension I came from. Oh, the Age of Apocalypse. And I find it odd that they call it the Age of Apocalypse. I find it very odd. I think if they had used the number, the universal number, which I'm going to really look up while I'm talking to you. Age of Apocalypse. I'm spelling that wrong. Age of Apocalypse universe verse number. Some people who are watching this right now are yelling at me right now. They're like, God. Okay. Maybe it's on the wiki. Earth 295. So if they had said Earth 295, that would make a lot more sense to me. But they're calling it they keep referring to it. It's the Age of Apocalypse. Kind of odd, considering that was the story name. Anyway. So they go to the Age of Apocalypse. They go to Earth 295. And it's all screwed up. And they find the seed rather quickly. And then Nightcrawler shows up. Oh yes, he's still alive there, and considerably more badass actually. Steals it. They get it back. Nightcrawler persists. Sabretooth and Wildchild show up. Sunspot shows up, and while there's this whole commotion, and emotions are racing because people are seeing people and they're reacting, and the life seed gets destroyed. Okay, so that's gone. Everybody's calmed down. Everybody's sorry, and they go to Atlantis. And you have this inner monologue of what Wolverine's thinking. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe the elf's here. I can't, this is really hitting me. It feels like a mule kick to the chest. And the only thing that's going to affect me more than seeing the elf again is seeing. Yeah, if you know anything about Wolverine, you know exactly what's on the last page. I don't need to show you, but fantastic book. You should check it out. Last comic of the week, and I would be very remiss if it was not Fear Itself, Book 3. Fraction, Immelman, von Graubacher, which is an awesome name, and Martin. By the way, Matt Fraction, awesome guy, just very personable. If you get a chance to talk to him, if you get a chance to go to one of his talks at any convention, really do, and pay attention. And have fun with it, and speak up, because he is an incredibly nice person, and smart, and personable, I think is the best word. He's very personable. He's a guy that you want to grab a beer with. Men want to be him, women want to be with him. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so we're in the middle of Blitzkrieg USA, and it's commotion. More or less that's commotion. So that's going on. Then you have Asgard. Loki busts a Thor out of jail. Go figure. Loki manages to get Thor to his friends, and his friends are like, well, Asgard's cut off, and we have this guy here who can get you out, but, we have to do it quickly until... And Odin shows up right at that time. Until what? Until I find out? Assholes? What are you doing? So, you think I don't see you? And Odin and Thor kind of stare each other down, and they're like... And he's like, do you honestly want to stand with the humans, knowing what we're going to do? Knowing that we're going to razz the planet, just remove them all to remove the threat of the serpent. And he says, yeah. He's like, okay, fine. Throws him into a portal, throws his hammer. He's like, here, you're going to need this. Don't say your father didn't give you anything. I'm paraphrasing. This is all done in true Asgardian fashion, which is just, I love. And that's cool, because I didn't expect that. And it's starting to make me think that... Sorry, my nose is itchy. It's starting to make me think that Odin is not as driven by fear as we were suspecting. He's not lost it. I think he's an animal put up against a wall. He's got only... His options of flight are gone. He has to fight. And he knows the gravity of the situation more than anybody else. And instead of explaining it, he's like, there's no time. Well, everybody wants to hear it, but, we're not going to get that right now, because that would be telling, wouldn't it? So, I'm interested to see where Thor and Odin go from here. Steve Rogers, sitting on the sidelines, is not having a good time, so he goes for a walk out the plane. Back on the battlefield, in the capital, Bucky, the new Captain America, feels he's going to take on Scotty one-on-one. Yeah, he pays for it dearly. Don't know if he's gonna die. That's a pretty brutal wound. But the last page has some interesting... Has an interesting four panel... Like, I'm just gonna flash it because I don't want you to read it. Whoa. Okay. So, I don't know what happened when he got hit with that hammer, but I think he saw something, and I'm very interested to see what happens. And I hope he survives, merely to tell us more about what he saw. I mean, I don't really care if he's out of the fight, if he's like stuck up in ICU the whole time. That's cool. Rogers can take up the shield again. That would be cool. Coming in Fear Itself, Worlds on Fire is book 4. We have Cap on a slab. We have Iron Man looking at the Northern Lights, it seems. I don't know, something. And Thor and Odin sort of looking like they're going to get into a UFC match, kind of growling at each other. And also, Avengers battle with the Hulk in Avengers 15. And the Thing rampages. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. The Thing has a hammer now. He is the breaker of souls. Richards, you're an idiot for letting him touch that thing. Seriously. I get the scientific method, but oh my god, you have all this cool tech. If it doesn't tell you anything, maybe throwing your friend at it, or say, hey Ben, you want to pick that thing up? You want to go? Oh yeah, I'll do it. Ben's not gonna say no. Anyway, the Thing rampages in Fear Itself, Spider-Man number 3, and by this little piece of art, it could be Clayton Crane. Ooh, I gotta look that up. Anyway, and the Absorbing Man attacks on the Absorbing Man's attack on Dubai in Avengers Academy 15. I don't read Avengers Academy. I don't know if I'm gonna pick that up. Anyway, but I know I'll read Avengers, and if Clayton's writing it, I'll pick up Spider-Man. Sorry, if Clayton's drawing it, I'll pick up Spider-Man. And that's it for this week of On the Comic Edge. I'm your host, Edge. Thank you again for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to check out our podcast, Complete Geek Radio and Complete Geek Daily, all in the same iTunes feed. We're also on our website, CompleteGeekRadio.com, which is getting a revamp as soon as I find the money. And there is also the iTunes, I mentioned that. BlackBerry Podcasts, check that out. And big things are coming. And yeah, check it out. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Stay geeky.